Hi, I'm Rob Reep and welcome to my studio. We're going to be painting some seagulls. If you want to learn how to do some basic seagulls, I've got a small little lighthouse scene going here. Again, this isn't an oil painting, but this technique's totally applicable to acrylics as well. In fact, I'm painting this on a surface called clayboard, which is really a cool. It's got a nice deep wood set, so you could hang this in a home just like that and get through with it. It's a really pretty surface to paint on. It does dry a little bit quicker than canvas though, even with oils. So that's a pretty cool little thing about clayboard. But the real subject of this is painting the seagulls. I've got a couple of small sailboats in the distant background, and I just want to put a few distant seagulls in, maybe get a few of them a little bit closer. So the lesson here is we're not going to be painting really up close seagulls, but we do want to have a few in this painting. Obviously, with it being a seascape, there's going to be some seagulls in a few places. Go to my trusty palette. Got my #1 script liner brush. Essentially, I've already got. I had a painting I was doing just yesterday, so I've already got some colors on my palette. I didn't clean it. Decided I'm just going to go in here and be a dirty painter, like you guys, if you're watching the show very much, you know I like to keep using the same palette as much as possible. I will occasionally clean it, but what I've done is I've kind of taken my orange, a little bit of blue, and this dark kind of muddy mixture that I had going here, which is basically ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, purple, and maybe even a little bit of sap green, and that made up my dark color. Then I had white, titanium white with a little bit of cad orange, and then a little blue mixture that was some cerulean blue with ultramarine and white. So I've just kind of mixed all those together, and I'm just kind of playing until I get a decent color. I don't need a lot of paint for this. So for these distant seagulls, obviously there's going to be kind of a shadow on them. That's the only thing that's going to set them apart from that sky. So I'm just going to get my paint nice and thin. So I'm going down here to my paint thinner, which is off screen, and I'm getting a lot of paint thinner here, and I'm just mixing this up. I'm just mixing a really pretty little kind of grayish orange. Maybe mix a little bit more orange into this. Again, if you're wondering why seagulls would have orange on them, sunlight. There's going to be some sunlight bouncing off these guys. So I've got my color. I'm going to go up here. There's a few different shapes. For distant seagulls, it's going to be a lot like doing any other bird, but they do have pretty large wings. And when they do kind of try to catch wind, if you look at a picture of them, they do kind of create almost like an upside down V on either side, so either wing, so almost like an M shape if you're looking at it. And we're gonna play around and try to get some decent little shapes here. And the key is not to make these things too big. So up here, these that are pretty close up, they're gonna still be relatively small. And I'm just gonna paint the first one. And so you can see this is already dry, so I'm not afraid to kind of rest my hand there. Some of you guys may want to use a maul stick if your paint's still a little bit wet, but I've let this one dry for a few days. It's best practice as an oil painter, let it dry. I like to do that. I don't like to paint wet on wet very often. Alright, so I'm here. I'm just going to kind of rest my finger, and I'm going to draw in one there, one here. Then, alright, so I've got kind of like a little upside down V. I don't know if you can see it there. Hopefully you can. Then I'm going to have just a little shape of kind of the body, and then another little V, just like that. So look at that, cool little shape, super easy to drop that in, not hard at all. And we've already got one seagull in it. Now I'm just going to kind of define this little guy real quick, and the only way I'm going to do that is, obviously he's probably going to have a little sunlight hitting him. Sun's coming from this side, so we're going to kind of light up the underneath part of his belly, just a little bit with a little white, and then kind of spread his little, I call it tail, you know. We're artists. We want to paint it where it looks right. We don't have to exactly be accurate with what we call it. Alright, going back to my palette, I need some more paint. Same color, not going to mess with it too much. Alright, maybe this one's flying a little bit further back, and maybe he's pretty spread out. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. Just See, now I didn't go really drastic with that V shape that I was talking about. I just kind of letting him sit in there. Maybe we need another one that's a lot like this, just kind of a little bit down further below. Another good shape. I mean, guys, this is what it's like to paint distant objects. There's not a lot of detail. You're just wanting to fool the viewer into thinking they're seeing something really detailed back there. And that's what I'm working on at the moment. Going back into my palette, you know, maybe we want one a little bit closer up. So we're going to just grab some of this dark color, kind of start mixing up a slightly darker color. Maybe add a little bit of Cerulean blue or ultramarine, whatever you've got. There's going to be a little bit of a water reflection off of their bellies, so it's okay. And this just kind of cools that color down just a little bit. It's a little too dark though, so I'm going to go back into my light color and remix this. There we go. I'm getting, you want to gradually change colors. Everything can't just be bam, you know, super dark. It's got to be very gradual, almost so the eye doesn't really even recognize it, you know. Okay. Maybe this one's flying up here, maybe just a little bit higher than the rest. Yeah. I like that. See, slightly darker color on that one. Just a bit. Most people standing back 6 feet or 3 or 4 feet, they're not going to notice that color change. You will. And that's the thing about being a painter. You will know it's there. You will know it's right. And I urge you. I used to have a tendency as a young painter to want to really stop when it looked good to most people. Well, I don't want it to look good to most people. I want it to look good to me. I know what's actually there. I want the super slight color changes and all the little details. I want all that in my paintings. I want there to be secrets on this canvas or on this clay board, whatever surface you're painting on. When I'm doing it, I want there to be cool little things all throughout it. And this is just one little aspect of something that you can actually add. We're going to do just a couple more. All right, let's get some kind of in the deep distance. How about that? We need some in the deep distance. Watch that you don't hit your board like I just did there. Luckily mine's dry. So I'm going to grab some white. Don't care that it's got a little blue in it, but I'm just going to mix it in to this color that I've already got. In fact, I'm just going to pull it out. I'm going to get a little bit more white and just kind of pull this out. All right, you can tell my paint's getting pretty thick going back to my paint thinner. Yep, right in there. That's looking good. That's looking good. Now we're getting there. We're getting there. I did it again. Small studio. You guys know what I'm talking about. We all paint in the small parts of our homes, right? Alright. You know, they usually fly in little groups, so maybe we need just another one right in here. And then let's put some we'll get just a little bit more paint, darken it just slightly. Now, we're going to paint some in the very distant, and they're going to be just almost little lines, just itty bitty little lines. Yeah, maybe even a couple like back here next to the ships. And when we're painting them back here next to these ships, you almost just want to do just a little short unlevel line. Really doesn't even need to be much of a shape. You're just trying to, again, fool the viewer. Let's paint one more up front, just for fun. Go back to our darker color, get some more thinner. You're going to want to keep this paint pretty thin. It needs to be very inky. You'll hear me say that a lot, inky. Let's do another one here. Maybe this one's getting ready to land for something, okay? So we'll just kind of pull a big V down. and then pull a little tail off. Look at that. Isn't that's just perfect. It's perfect. I love it. It adds so much to it. We're going to do one more thing to that guy. We're going to add just a little bit of white. So I'm not going to clean my brush at all. I'm just going to grab some of this lighter color that I had mixed up. Still got the paint pretty thin. And I'm just going to barely touch the underside of his wing and his belly. Maybe even the top, inside part of his other wing. And you know what? I think we are done putting in seagulls on this painting. I'm about to probably call this one finished. May do a few more things without the camera on, but they'll be my little secrets for now. Sorry about bumping the camera there. Once again, thank you for joining me here on this episode of Rob's Studio. I'm Rob Reep. You can, of course, if you don't mind, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. I'm trying to put out great content each week, several times a week even if I can. I'm sharing some painting tips with you here and there, and I'm probably even going to be throwing out some full paintings here pretty soon. So just thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Keep painting and stay inspired. God bless.